Welcome to Enlightened, the enlightened journey of life. I am your host, Jen Hamilton, and it is an honor to have you here. I am a conscious life coach and women's empowerment mentor, and I activate a potent level of self and soul inquiry with my clients, which initiates deep and lasting transformation in all areas of their lives. I am here for the full human experience, authentically and audaciously sharing my magic with the world. On this podcast, we're all about mastering life on the way to enlightenment. And as we're here having a human experience, we might as well embrace it all. We play in the space of what is real and tangible, just as much as we play in the space of esoteric and metaphysical. You'll be ignited by deep conversation, whether through my own personal musings, interviews with incredible thought leaders around the world, and everyday divine humans sharing their soulful stories. Thank you for being on this journey. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Enlightened Podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and today's guest is author, travel junkie, network marketing extraordinaire, and absolute legend, Ricardo Wilkins. After working in the government sector for nearly 20 years, Ricardo discovered there was more to see, do, and share in life. Learning about the vital role of Redox Signaling led him on his path to entrepreneurship, personal development, and guiding others while following his other inspiration, travel. His vision is for everyone to be healthy, be inspired, and live free. Ricardo lives a nomadic lifestyle and has some incredible travel stories. I know you're going to love all of his wisdom. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hi, Ricardo. Thank you so much for joining me for a chat. Where in the world are you at the moment? You're a bit of a nomad living this incredible lifestyle. Where are we speaking to you from today?
It's a pleasure to be here as a guest on your podcast, Jen. And today I am in my home state in the United States of Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. That's where I am today. I think when we talked a couple weeks ago, I was in Ecuador.
Yeah.
But I'm back home now.
Amazing. Because you live quite a nomadic lifestyle. Tell us about the work that you do, the travel that you do, and the magic that you bring to the world.
Sure. Yeah. About a year and a half ago, my partner and I, Ruthie, we decided to, at the time, just travel across the United States. She wanted a break from her job at the time. At the time, I was in a 17-year job with the United States government at the Environmental Protection Agency, and I work remote, so it gave me a lot of flexibility. So we traveled across the U.S., and then we had some trips abroad. Then in the midst of that, I got fired from my job, which I think was a blessing in disguise. And we said, we kind of like this living on the road, traveling around the world and the country. So we kept it up. So we just got back from a 6-week stint in Ecuador a week ago.
Amazing. What was the biggest thing that landed for you in Ecuador? What was your biggest takeaway? What sort of warmed your heart being there?
Oh man, that's a good question. I just love South America. So it's generally similar, my experience in different South American countries are the same. And it's just the humbleness and the kindness of the people that live there. And just connecting and learning about their lives that, a lot of times having less just goes to, it always just reinforces that we don't need a lot to have a fulfilled life, and just connecting with the kindness of people. People are always so kind when I travel to any third world country, really.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. I went to Vietnam. That was my first overseas holiday when I was 21, and it was massive cultural shock. I mean, the heat to begin with, and then the smell. As soon as I got off the plane, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And then it brings so much perspective to life when you go to these third world countries and just sort of see how the people live in such a different way. And I'm sure, as you know from traveling so much, that it just brings a different perspective on life.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that's what I relish so much. Just even the different perspective. I was somebody asked me before I left, what do I look forward to the most when I travel in different countries? And I sat and thought about it. I was just like, just being somewhere different, because just just where the landscape, the buildings, where everything is just different from my normal. It just, again, and then just the interaction with the different people and their customs and traditions. It just, again, it just changes our perspective on life, and really, in my way, in profound ways.
Yeah. How did COVID affect your travel plans over the last few years? Did you have to kind of bunker down anywhere? Did it affect you going to the places that you wanted to go?
It did. It was luckily, we had just spent some time in another South American country, 2 weeks in Bolivia. And then I spent like a month in Puerto Rico. Literally, when I got back is when kind of things just, shit hit the fan. Mm-hmm. And so then, yeah, after that, we were just hunkered in. But what it did was it gave us, just being inside, and my partner, she worked in healthcare. So it was, challenging for her. So we started on the weekends, going to cabins and spending more time in nature around us. So it just really opened us up to just spending more time in nature, appreciating nature more, appreciating what's in our local vicinity, things we could take advantage of.
How beautiful. Isn't that interesting? Like you can still travel, in your own backyard, and that's what we found here in Australia. It's like we couldn't just, duck off overseas. So a lot of people started exploring more if we kind of locked down to our states for a little bit there. We couldn't even go interstate. That's a separate conversation. But we just explore our own backyards really. And it was such a great opportunity to take advantage of that instead of sort of nicking off overseas. We're like, well, what can we do in Australia? And there's so much to do here.
I know. Yeah. I haven't been there yet. It's on the bucket list.
Yeah. Beautiful. Now you're an author. Tell us about the book that you've written.
Sure. Yes, a first-time author. I did participate in an anthology book about a year and a half ago, but it's my first time, solo authorship. The title of the book is called "Life's Biohack: The Health Secrets of Redox Signaling Revealed." The toxic environment threatening human health in the extraordinary way the body communicates healing and protection. And the book is a short, straightforward introduction into this field of health called redox signaling or redox biology that is still it's about 20 years old, still relatively new. It's not on the horizon of really a lot of even doctors, but it's something I had the opportunity to really dive into and learn a lot about over the last 4 years, just because it just really intrigued and fascinated me. And I watched a documentary called Stink, which is where the part of the subtitle, the toxic environment threatening human health, comes in. Because I do touch on that a little bit throughout the book. Just talked about how prevalent toxins are in household products and even children's pajamas, and how the rise in a lot of chronic diseases correlates to the rise of toxins in our products and our environment. And as I watched this documentary, I was, just got frustrated and angry. And I said, you know what, the one thing that people can do is we can do things in our house, but we can also, what we put in our body and how we support our health. And knowing about this field of health that a lot of people don't know about, I wanted to just do my part in trying to educate people. It's something I think that everyone will know about in the future, like we know about stem cells and DNA. So this was just my part to enlighten people to something that for people like me that might be interested in doing more than just nutrition for their health, I would say.
I love it that you are speaking my language. Tell us about Redox. I had no idea when we first connected what this was, and I've been fascinated ever since. So tell us a little bit about what Redox is.
Sure. Yeah. The way I think about it, I can get really deep into the science here. And what I try to do with my book was keep it just simple and be just straightforward and exactly what it is, without getting too much detail, and how it supports different areas of our body. And essentially, the way to think about redox signaling is it's how our body communicates. It's how animals communicate. It's plants. It's a function that is prevalent in all life on the planet. And it's at the very basic foundational level between these chemical reactions of reductants and oxidants, and which trigger communication. And I say it's kind of like they send the messages throughout the body. Messages so the body knows how to, respond to different threats, check in what's going on over here with, maybe your lungs, direct the immune system to where it needs to go, how to utilize the nutrition we're taking. In a very just basic level, that's what it is. It's just sending the messages, the mail messages, so our body knows how to respond and react to different things going on.
So it's a physical product.
So there's a product that's attached to it that essentially is a identical replication of what our body makes. So this redox and redox signaling is a function that our body produces every second of every day, every cell in the body. And again, this is plants and animals. And the way I was able to learn about it was 4 years ago, just randomly. I believe it was universal guidance. I was watching a health expert talk about, something else like health, and him and another expert, they mentioned this stuff called redox and redox signaling, a product. And I had never heard of it before. It sounds like, what is that? But they said a few things that just got my attention enough. And I was like, they said it did some things as far as reducing cellular aging. And also what got my attention was I've never heard of it before because it just sounded so unique. I was like it was like I stumbled upon a secret that I wasn't supposed to know about. That's how it felt. I was like, do I supposed to know about this? Because it just sounded so unique. So I was like, I love, spy novels and spy espionage movies. So it was like, I wanted to play sleuth, and I just, I learned more about the product, and I started using it just to support my health, to preserve my health as I get older, in combination with other things I was already doing. And then just fascinated, and at the time, not having anyone to, direct questions to, just really taking it on myself to learn more. And the more that just opened me up to, I bought books and all kinds of to watch videos, just over the course of 4 years, just expanding my knowledge, because it was attached to this product, and then also the area of science that it represents.
Yeah, beautiful. And so, who does it benefit?
Oh, one thing I've learned is, products, there's a lot of amazing products out there that do a lot of transformational things for people's health, people with health issues. So I could speak to people that might have a certain kind of condition, or people have that, but I speak to people like me, so people that, are healthy, are generally healthy, but want to do everything they can to protect their health, to preserve their health, not just for now, but for the future. So when we're older, 5, 10, 20 years from now, we can still, have an active lifestyle and enjoy life, enjoy our kids, enjoy our family, our friends. So it's, for me, people that, maybe you're working out a lot, you take quality nutrition, you eat well, but what I like to say is like a double-pronged approach to health. Because this is different than nutrition. It's like it's almost in some ways like more like a blood transfusion than nutrition, because it's replenishing and replacing something that our body makes and we make less of as we age. So for me, it's for people that just want to do everything they can for their health and to get the most out of their body and their nutrition.
Beautiful. How long have you been into sort of like the biohacking space and, into health and nutrition and well-being and vitality?
I would say my journey, it's been a slow, it started off as a slow progression. Like a lot of people, it's probably, it's probably maybe 20 years ago, I always worked out, I played basketball. But I ate literally whatever I want. I just ate candy, just whatever, fast food. And literally, and I touch on this a little bit in my book when I talk about nutrition, is I just one day after Thanksgiving in the United States, I got like a pain in my stomach, like discomfort. And I had like a lot of constipation, and this just happened out the blue. And I never had anything like that happen before. And I went months, I didn't have health insurance at the time. finally had went to the doctor, figured, and I had nothing was going on. They couldn't. I had like every extensive tests. They couldn't find anything, and they just said, kind of, I just got to live with it. And from there, that's the medical healthcare system, right? Oh, okay, well, you have these symptoms, just live with it,
Sorry about it, off you go.
Oh my gosh, right? And at the time I was ignorant as to, other modalities, other things, other types of practitioners. But I really just started slowly eating better. So that's kind of like, how it started for me. Just like, at the time I was eating microwave dinners every single day, just not, just putting anything in my body. So that probably, I would say like 20 years ago. I probably got real into it maybe 10 years ago, as far as just doing anything and everything I can to, be healthier and take quality nutrition.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's bounce back to Redox. So is it a device that uses like electromagnetics? Like is it something you consume? Tell us more about the actual product itself.
Yeah, so the company that produces it is called ASEA. That's ASEA. And when I first learned about it, I heard the doctor say that, and I was like, I didn't even know how to spell it. I was like, how do I spell that? And they have two of these, what we call Redox Signaling products. One's a gel and one is a liquid. And the liquid is the flagship product. And they have a really interesting genesis and story how they came to be. So the product is a liquid. It looks like water and is made from the building blocks of saline. So it's made from sodium, chloride, oxygen, and hydrogen, those life building blocks, because that's what the body within our cells uses. We're 70% saline. The body uses those four building blocks to make these different what they call redox molecules, or what I like to say, the male messengers for the body. And maybe it was early 90s, a biotech company was kind of accidentally figure out a way to take these life building blocks and to create these redox molecules. And at the time, it was still, novel. They didn't really know what it was, but it showed a lot of interesting and unique properties and benefits. And over the course of like 15 years and a lot of investment and research with universities and college institutions, educational institutions, they just saw they had something really unique. Long story short, a pharmaceutical company attempted to purchase the patents and the research, but they didn't want it. They didn't want it in the hands of that pharma company for reasons I'm sure a lot of your listeners can guess. So that's when the company decided to bring it to market themselves. And they developed this company, a network marketing company called ASEA, because they knew it was, such a unique product. What is redox? Nobody's ever heard of that. Nobody's never heard of this area of science. It's made from saline, which, can be like, what are you trying to sell me here, right? So because they knew it would take stories and people telling their stories and sharing with people that they trust. And it comes in it. So it comes in the liquid that you drink, most people 2 times a day. And it also comes in a gel, which is the same thing as the liquid. And they just figured out a way to, add a few things to it so it could congeal for the skin. So for just healthier skin, to combat aging and toxins again on the skin.
Beautiful, beautiful. You mentioned that it's a network marketing model. And one of my favorite ways of doing business and seeing the business model of network marketing, because it is about sharing a product that and that you use and that you're passionate about. And I've been in so many different types of network marketing over the years, or been around them. And it's interesting because there's a lot of people that have sort of a preconceived ideas. They hear network marketing and think, oh my God, pyramid scheme. I mean, if we take any like standard business model where there's like a CEO and then there's executives and then managers and workers underneath that. I mean, tell me that's not a pyramid scheme to begin with. And so network marketing, I truly believe, is the way of the future, because there's so many people that can get involved and that can learn from each other. And I know through my own experience of network marketing, the people that I have connected with, the things that I have learned from going along to events or being on live calls, backed by an incredible product. I've been in some dodgy ones as well, I'm not going to lie. But there's so much stigma around network marketing. And I know some people that are, very high up in network marketing, who've done very well for themselves, and they teach other people how to, do the business, love the product. And, it's for some people and it's not for some people. And that's okay too. I'd love to touch on this, like being in network marketing. Like, is this your favorite style of business? Have you had any other business before? Like, you've worked for the government. I mean, you know what it's like to have hierarchical systems and paper and all that bullshit.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Wow. You said something when you just start talking about network marketing that I feel like just hits it right on the nail of the head, at least an aspect of it. And I heard my mentor say this last week, and he said that, network marketing is, contrary to, popular belief, it is, the people selling products in network marketing, the most authentic, had the most authentic motives of trying to make money, because it's a product they love and believe in that they're raving fans of. They trust and believe in that product. And he gave an example, was that, you'll never find someone, the equivalent in network marketing of someone, driving a Mercedes and driving their Mercedes to their car dealership with the BMW, work at a BMW dealership, parking that Mercedes Benz in the back and going out selling BMWs. You won't find that in network marketing. Someone sharing a product, it's something that, they believe in and it's transformed their life in most cases. And when I learned about, this product, and when I heard about it, it was, network marketing, I was like, okay, whatever. It sounds like a, good product. I will take the product. And as I learned more about the product, I was like, people got to know about this, which is a lot of, you hear that with a lot of people that come upon a products and their network marketing. It's like, I can't help but tell people about this. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to, share it with people. I'm not going to touch on the business at all. I'm just going to a quality product. And over the years, learning more and more about the business model, I fell in love with the business model just as much as the company and product. It's always been a part of me that just having a boss, people telling me, when I could take vacations, telling me what I had to do, commuting an hour into work. That just never sat right with me. As we shared, I love to travel. So the independence that it can, not everybody, but the independence that it can provide people to live the life they want to, as far as hobbies, supplementing, with children's education, travel, whatever the case may be, even if it's just $500, an extra $500, $1,000 a month, every month, and if with the right company and the right product for the rest of your life, you can't beat that. It's amazing. You can't
get that in a standard workplace. Exactly. And just through my own experience is that, people can make a lot of money in it, and it's such an incredible way of doing it. And my own personal experience, I used to have an e-commerce store before I got into coaching and mentoring. And, back in those days, I held all of my stock. I posted it all myself. I did all the handwritten letters for it. I had to pay for storage to put everything into. I had to do minimum order quantities of $500, $1,000 with different suppliers. And I closed that down years ago, and I still fucking have stock today that didn't sell. Oh my God. and I didn't even have a bricks and mortar store. It was all online. And so, just learning through, it's still essentially an e-commerce platform, network marketing. But what I love the most about it is that you don't hold the stock, because from someone that has held stock, paid all the insurances, paid for the spaces, paid for the minimum order stuff, to think, okay, this is what my clients need. This is what my customers need. This is what the market's looking for. And then at the time, what I was also doing is modeling off businesses that I were inspired by, but the market was already saturated. And I was like, I need to jump onto this. And I would sell quite a few of them, but then I'd just be left with a whole heap of stock because everyone's doing it and they're knocking down prices. And it was a very competitive industry in the health and wellness space that I was in. And I look at the boxes of stock I've got still. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to think about it. I think I've got PTSD about it. And then, when I got a little bit more into network marketing later on, I was like, I love this. Like, people can purchase a product as they please. They can just jump onto their account, order when and what they like. They don't have to, order minimum order quantities. They don't have to, purchase a certain amount and pay a certain amount. They can just get what they want when they want. That's going to help their health and their lifestyle and their family. I've always chosen products that are related to, health and vitality, because that's the space that I'm into. I've never been drawn to like, skincare or the Tupperware things or the Thermomixes.
Right.
It's always been products that I have used in alignment with my values. And it just made so much sense. Like, it was like, this is amazing that we can share a product and say, hey, this is what I'm using. If you want to use this too, if you want to try it, here's the way to go and do it. And it's no different from me, for example, purchasing my favorite sunscreen, putting a post up on Facebook or Instagram and saying, hey, this is the sunscreen I'm using it. I'm using it because I love that it's vegan, it's low tox, it's this and it's that, and me tagging them in it. I get no kickback from that. I'm not an affiliate for them, but I want to share it. Like, more people need to use this, because if we actually looked at the ingredients, for example, that are in sunscreen, people would be mortified, so I don't get a kickback from this company at all. I'm like, hey, I love what you're doing. Thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you for making a product that I feel safe to use for myself and my children. Let me share this for you. And it's so interesting because I've never had anyone say, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be sharing that. And not that I've had any sort of feedback, I'm not sort of active in network marketing at the moment, but I know that people, they kind of jump on the bandwagon of like, oh, it's another pyramid scheme. It's this.
Right.
But there's nothing that happened, through me sharing products that aren't associated with affiliate marketing. There's been no kickback from that. So it's interesting that society has this stigma around this business model when they probably just don't understand it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. There's a great book. It's called The 4-Year Career. It's written by my coach and mentor, Richard Brooke. And it's a great job of just a non-hype way of breaking down the nuts and bolts of network marketing, how it's possible, the history. So that was really actually helpful for me. It breaks down the history of how, like, the first network marketing company, how they came to be, why, and I'll touch on it because I think it can be helpful for people to understand it. It was a company, a health and wellness company, and just like a lot of companies, they had sales managers and sales team, and they had the idea of so they just like a lot of any place they would put out, have people fill out an application to come aboard their team as a sales rep. If they were a good sales rep, they would become a sales manager. And then over time, they said, well, what if we just nixed that and gave everyone the opportunity to be a sales manager that can find their own sales reps as they use the product? So they just kind of nixed that, and anyone can go out and say, hey, do you want to use this product and share it with other people? So, and that created this what are now a ripple where anyone can become essentially their own distribution channel, because every customer can become a sales rep. Most people don't go that route. They just find a product they love and use the product. And what that does is it creates the opportunity for exponential growth, because if every customer can share it with, can get customers, and then everyone gets a little bit of percentage from the company, that becomes hundreds, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of people through your distribution channel, which is really unique. And I just absolutely love the model and what it can provide for people. It's and like you were saying, the company does all, the legal stuff, the stock, back in the day, people had the stock stuff, but now with, websites and online, with technology, that's not an issue anymore. So the company does all that product development, everything. You just, hey, this product I find really valuable. You want to check it out. And if you like, you can also make it some extra income from it. I think in the past, people, were a lot, more manipulative, not transparent with how they approach people. And you still have that, but, I'm really geared to where I really fall in line with you just doing it authentically, transparently, not trying to necessarily close people, right? That's like, being salesy, trying to close people, talk people into doing something that maybe they don't want to do. But there is, if you can open people up to perhaps see what you see, by just, just being open and transparent with what you have and why you find it as valuable.
I love that you mentioned one of my favorite words, authenticity, because we need that, especially in any business, any relationship with anybody, whether it's in business, whether it's in friendships, whether it's in a romantic relationship. If we're not stepping into authenticity, then we're lying to them and we're lying to ourselves. And there has been, companies, whether it's network marketing, whether it's just sort of, standard companies, businesses that don't embody authenticity. And, it drips down. Do you know what I mean? Like my partner always says, like, hey, a dead fish stinks from the head down. And, and it's so true.
I never heard that one. I like that one. I like that one. I never heard that.
If it's coming from the top where there's that lack of authenticity, then it's going to go through to all the different, layers of the company. And so there is this movement almost that there is, because there is so much stigma around network marketing, affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing, because that's there. I think the driver behind authenticity is that we don't want to show, or we don't want to be involved with the fact that people are inauthentic. Let us show you how open we can be about these things. I think it's actually been such a beautiful duality, essentially, that we've been shown that people have reservation, so we have to step into that authenticity more than ever.
Yeah, I think just in business, just in general, we're seeing more, just as people become more conscious, more people wake up. Just doing things, even it can be to earn extra money, to earn income, to be an entrepreneur, but how you go about it, with your energy, your state of being, how you communicate with people, and just being real. And also really something that when it comes to network marketing, it almost, I think a lot of times, again, you said this, people just don't understand it. And it's almost like this collective just disdain for it when you just hear those words. And it's like, oh, one of those things without really even understanding why, people not even understanding why they feel that way. Some people have had bad experiences, but you find a lot of people haven't had any experience. And it's like every network, because it's definitely been a lot of bad companies out there and people in companies not doing things with authenticity. But that's not like all network marketing companies kind of like get thrown into that bag, right? But I saw this statistic for like the most corrupt companies, or the companies that right, or companies that had to pay the most fines for corruption and fraud and illegal activities, and none of them were network marketing companies. They were all like pharma companies, banks, oil, gas companies that people still do business with, that people go to, right? But it's not like, it's not this blanket, every company in that industry is thrown in that bag, like network marketing. But again, it's been a lot of, in the past and even today, a lot of people who don't do it what I would call the right way. But it's a lot of good companies, good people, amazing products in the industry.
I think people are also like sold a dream as well.
Yes.
They see the people at the top who have essentially, you know, generally put in a lot of effort to get to where they are. They're living an incredible lifestyle because of the way, you know, the structure works and the income that they have. And they did a lot to get there. And I think people that come into these businesses see them at the top or on their way to the top and think, well, I either have to do what they did, you know, exactly. Or I just want to be there. How do I get there in the quickest way possible? And then like they don't have the strong foundations around them, it can fall down really quickly. And I have a lot of clients of mine who have come through a network marketing business, and you know, just sort of some of the language that's used was sort of in the team, and it's like, well, hang on a second, does this actually align with your lifestyle? Is this do you need to hustle and push yourself to the next rank, or can you do this soulfully and with time? And, you know, how can you do this from a space that's actually going to nurture and nourish you as opposed to burn you out to try and get to a rank before the end of the month or get the certain amount of people on board that, you know, some of these companies do promote that you do so that you can make more money. Thing is, like, I think ultimately underneath it all, if money is your driver, which is amazing, it is a lot of people for money, then just be really, really mindful that that's what you're working for. If you're working for the lifestyle, the connection, the community, and ultimately it's the product that you want to be passionate about. The money is a byproduct of that. But if you're so driven by the money, then it's going to eat you up and spit you out.
You know what? That is something that, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. That really resonates with me. What you just said is that, because I do, again, you find this, you do still find this. And I don't think people mean harm when they do this, but it's the idea that you have to hit this rank, you know, this week, this month, you know, like that is the end all be all, right? Like pushing that goal. And it's great, you know, it's great to hit a rank. But then after that, it's all about just hitting that next rank, right? And it's almost in some ways akin to, you know, in a regular job or career. Oh, I have to get this position, or I have to get the, you know, that's career advancement. And I learned that those things aren't what fulfill you. You know, they might provide some, you know, a moment of, at least in my experience, some small moment of pleasure, but then, you know, it's all into the next thing. And I do think that, and like you said, people being sold a dream and this amazing, extraordinary income, which sounds unbelievable to a lot of people, because to think that you can work part-time and earn, you know, 5, 10, some people 6 figures a month doing something part-time. But it takes years and years of learning, growing. I like to say becoming the person that can, you know, if it's about money, earn that kind of income. It takes time. But like you said, being sold that dream, and, you know, a lot of us come from, you know, traditional background where the time you put in is you get paid for it, right? But if network marketing, it's the reverse. You know, you put in X amount of time and you might not see the returns immediately. But over time, it kind of flips, and then, you know, you're just getting paid for work you did before, which is the residual income. But yeah, I think a lot of times that's not expressed, or people aren't educated on that enough up front, like what it actually takes to reach a certain level of income, even if it's just $500 a month. And also people just are not just having that understanding of what it takes to be consistent, putting in, you know, the effort of sharing your story. Because it is a business in a sense. It's just how you treat it.
I see that a lot as well. Like people that step into these businesses and they're excited for it and they're passionate about the product. They genuinely want to build a business, yet without any any sort of business training, without any
Yeah.
marketing experience, without even the understanding of how to set up, over here it's called an ABN, or a website, or, run a social media page aligned to the values of your business, even, having a mission statement, why you want to do this. Like, running a business, Michael, I've been in business for, what about 7 or 8 years, and it's a never-ending journey of learning.
Yeah.
I've learned so much, and there's still so many areas that I've barely even scratched the surface on, and it's a long game. Like I said, I had my e-commerce business, and I had to go through the almighty failure, which essentially wasn't even failure. It was, the learning to get me to where I am today in business. Hiring business coaches, hiring photographers, marketers, doing the courses, learning this, going to events, all of the stuff. And you can't know it all at once. You've got to go through the lessons. You've got to go through the mentoring. You've got to go through the trials and tribulations of business. And I think people sort of see these network marketing companies as a way to do easy business. And it's absolutely not. Like, you've got to have conversations. You've got to be able to, you do have to be able to sell, and you can sell soulfully. You don't have any sales training. And if you're coming from a place of like, oh, I was promised $500 a month, I need to make this so that I can brand, and it's coming from that desperation or that lack, it's going to come through. It's going to show. And I think that's where people have got a sour taste in their mouth, because either they've been poached by someone, or like someone's had a script, go off and message 20 people right now, DM them and say this, and I've got this special offer for you. They get the message like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, leave me alone. Right. They don't want to be sold to, and it's that old version of scripts, or they're told that they, can make rank by this certain time, or they can make a certain amount of money. And it's not how you do business. And network marketing needs to be treated as a legitimate business, where you sit down every day. Like, I personally, in my calendar, I have Financial Fridays, I have CEO days every month, I have marketing days, I have podcast recording and editing days, I have client days, I have when I'm recording meditations and videos, I'm working on a magazine, so I have magazine content days. That's all in my calendar. That's all part of my business.
That's great. I love that you mentioned that, the having days with specific tasks, treating it serious. I've heard people say, and this is really anything, not just network marketing, if you treat it like a hobby, you'll be paid like a hobby. And one thing I'm really try to stress now when people come aboard, that they want to align with me and, become a part of the team, is I try to let people know that, people are going to say no. Right? People are going to, like, they're not going to respond to text. They're not going to respond to, like, they're going to come to learn more. They're not going to, it's just, people just are going about their lives, and what you're doing they might not see the value in it, which is okay. They might not, they have their life going on. And I think, when my experience, a lot of people, they come in, they're excited. They've had, a product experience, they want to share their story, and, they have all these people in mind, and they're going to want to join and try the product, and the people say no, and it's not for them right now. And that really hits people, which I understand, because I felt the same way. I went through that process of, a family member might have a health issue, and, you're trying to, like, hey, I think this can support you, right? And they don't want to come even learn. So I get that, but I really try to educate people on, when they come on board, that that's going to happen, and it's okay, because the people they're not looking for what you're looking for. They haven't watched 5 presentations and on a product. They haven't listen to the founder of the company and his inspirational speak, and they haven't learned about all the aspects of network marketing and what it can provide. So there's just like most people really in network marketing, it wasn't their first introduction or the first ask. that when they said yes, it takes time. So that's something I really try to, let stress to people, because I've seen people come in and they're just deflated after that. They get 3-4 no's from people. Okay, this person's going to be all in, and they're deflated, and they just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm out. I'm just going to use the product, which again is okay. But I feel like if people know that expectation, it can brace them a little bit, moving forward. And it takes time. It takes time.
It's so true, isn't it? And this is what needs to be talked about when people want to come on board to do the business side of things, not necessarily as a customer, but when someone takes interest in the business side of things, it's having these conversations that says, hey, how comfortable are you with rejection? How comfortable are you with, the constant no's before that there's a yes? And I mean, that's like in any business as well, anything to do with sales. Yeah. I know this personally through my coaching experience. And, people come along and they say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to do a program. I want to work one-on-one. It's like, yep, cool. Here's all the information. Let's book a call. Bang, gone, ghosted. Right. And that's fine too, because people are like, oh shit, I've got to do the work on myself now. Maybe I'm not ready for that. And they don't know how to communicate that. And I mean, if they did the course, they would learn how to communicate that.
Right.
But, that's what it comes down to. But I think, I really want to touch on the magic of network marketing as well, because I have met so many incredible people. I've been to incredible events where it's just such high energy, and you meet with the people of all different stages, and you hear people's stories of how it's completely transformed their lives, to be able to, I know people that were just so frightened of public speaking, and a networking event that I went to last year now in 2022, they were up on stage with a microphone presenting or, accepting awards, and, to have that within themselves, to bring, husbands home from their jobs to, do either a business that they want to do, or, be a dad, just creating financial abundance where they can have, houses, cars, bits and pieces, even just pay for their products that, previously they wouldn't have had access to. I'd love to hear some of the experiences that you've had working, in network marketing, and people that have joined you on this journey that have just had this incredible transformation within themselves and their lives.
And I didn't know any of this before, I got on board with the company I'm with, ASEA. I've heard people say this, network marketing is personal development that you get paid for, right? You hear that and it sounds like cliche, it's something that people just say, but it's so true, because I was already doing a little bit of I was doing personal development for a few years before I got on board with a network marketing company. And I didn't know that was an aspect of network marketing in general. And when I did, I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. I'm already doing this. So this is kind of great. It was like a team call. They were like reading a personal development book. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Great. This is my people. And it's really, over the last 4 years, I'm a different person. The transformation that I've had because of, just being in network marketing, because at least for me, what it is it was something I believed in, right? So it forced me to push me, and I had a goal and a vision. So it pushed me to do things outside of my comfort zone. My whole life, you mentioned public speaking. I've been terrified of public speaking, like a lot of people, my whole life. I just would not, I would have never have done this. I wouldn't even thought about doing anything like this. And, just doing small presentations. The first one was literally my mom, my aunt and uncle, and my partner. And that was it. That was my first presentation. And I did more and more. And last year, I guess maybe 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, I spoke in front of 600 people at the company conference, which was, I couldn't believe it. I was like, who am I? I would have never. The idea of getting in front of that many people and giving a presentation was just completely outside of my realm of possibility. But because of, the structure of personal development, having a goal, having visions, I just transformed into a different person. And, I will be forever grateful. The connections you make, the people, just really good-hearted people. My book, that's another, my book. I would have never thought it possible to write a book. I was in the anthology. I mentioned I was a part of an anthology book a year and a half ago, and someone I met, and now I met him. I didn't meet him in a network marketing company, but I met someone and I met someone and I met someone that got me in a coaching program that he was in. So it was still like, this, started through, network marketing. I got in this coaching program, and then he invited me to participate in the anthology book. And he asked me because he saw me post something about me speaking at the conference I mentioned. In front of 600 people, and he saw that. So again, network marketing, opening up doors. So when he asked me, the idea of participating in that anthology book kind of like opened me up to the idea, like, I can write a book. So when I had the epiphany or the idea to write my book, Life's Biohack, I was like, I can write a book. I can do that. Whereas before, I even said to my dad yesterday, I was like, can you believe I'm an author? Like, It's kind of, it's like the old me would have never thought that even, like, it just gives me chills and goosebumps when I think about it now.
I love it. It's so funny because I've always been the type of person, I'm like, mic me up and get me to the stage. Like, in front of however many people. I mean, this is why I love podcasting, because I'm literally mic'd up and the world is my stage, out platforms. And, it's great because, we connect with people that, we wouldn't have connected with previously. The friends that I have made and the clients that have come through, and just the things that I've learned through people just sharing their lifestyle and working with these particular products has enhanced my life, in so many ways. And I just love it so much, and I would say to people out there, if you've got a bit of a sour taste about network marketing in your mouth, then that's okay. However, if you do want to explore something, like find a product, that you're passionate about, just ensure that the company that you're working with, that you align with their values and that they are coming from an authentic space. And, if it's not a full body fuck yes, it's a no. Like, that's my mantra.
Right.
I go into things knowing I can feel it in my body. I can check in with my intuition, and generally I will feel whether it's a yes or a no. And, I love it. Like, I love the business model, as I've mentioned. So I would say to people, if it feels right for you, dot your I's and cross your T's, making sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, whether it's just, whether you just want to be a product for a little while and then slowly step into the business, or whether you want to grab it head on and, run with it. What's some advice that you would give to people, wanting to perhaps step into the network marketing space, Ricardo?
I would say number one, like you mentioned, if it's something, maybe you already use a product and you want to step into it, but if not, find a good product, a good company that just aligns with you, with the goals and visions of the founders, the CEO have, because you don't want to build a business in a company, then they change their business model, and all the work that you put in, just goes to falls flat on its face. So make sure a company that has a goal to maintain that business model, because with the right company, the right product, your kids and your grandkids can benefit from what you build. So that's number one. And if you're someone, even if you are someone that has a background as an entrepreneur, as being successful, but like myself, I wasn't, find mentors in your company. A lot of times it could be your sponsor, maybe not, but there's always someone, what we in network marketing would say is your upline, who is successful, who's earning a substantial income that, in my experience, will, reach out and, or if you ask for help, will support you. And that's another thing with network marketing that you don't find in a lot of other industries or traditional work, is that the people, quote unquote, above you, they want you to be as successful as you can. and will give their time and effort and let you and teach you and mentor you with everything they've learned. So you're getting mentored by, millionaires. There's people who are millionaires who just regular people, but they did it, and I can text them and ask them questions, and they support me. So find someone in your company, or it can be someone outside your company, or it could be both. I found a lot of value in getting coaching, coaching in general, just having a coach. I wish I got a coach years ago. I think coaches are it's so valuable if you're trying to achieve anything in life. A coach could be a coach specific for network marketing. So I would say, find a good quality company, a product you believe in, that you feel, that you can authentically share with people. Find mentorship in your company, and find mentorship and coaching outside of your company, and be consistent and don't give up and continue to grow, and you will reach, your vision and your goal.
I love that. I love that. How can people get in touch with you, check out this incredible product, Redox, and get their hands on your books? Tell us about that.
Sure. Yeah. Great place to, find me is on Facebook. So Ricardo Wilkins, or facebook.com/Ricardo.Wilkins. You probably, it's not a lot of us out there, so it shouldn't be hard to find me if you put me in the search. Instagram, I am Ricardo Wilkins is my tag there. For my book, it'll be available. It's available now. It launched January 10th. So Amazon, Life's Biohack. You can also go to ricardosbook.com and find it there. And if you're interested in Redox Signaling, the product, just reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about that or the company ASEA.
Amazing. And we'll link to all of that in the show notes anyway. So that'll all be in there with all of the links. One last question before we wrap this up, Ricardo.
Yeah.
To you, what is the meaning of life?
Oh, man. For me, I have a saying that I've been using maybe about a year now, and it's be inspired and live free. And for me, I just, through my journey of working for the government, realizing that wasn't my path, or I think maybe it was my path, just to learn, realizing it wasn't my path, I think. But just part of like the becoming and learning, but finding something that inspires you, finding something that moves you, also that challenges you to living free. And what I mean by that is living a life that you designed, a life that you create. My life that I designed is traveling with my partner, and just not succumbing to what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to live, what we're supposed to be doing for a living. So for me, life is just about, just finding what inspires you, what moves you, what challenges you, growing, learning, and creating and designing your own life from that.
I love it. That's amazing. Ricardo Wilkins, thank you so much for joining us on the Enlightened podcast.
Thank you, Jen. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope you love the Enlightened podcast, and the biggest compliment you can give me is subscribing to this podcast, sharing it, and leaving a rating and review. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. My handle is @JenHamiltonOfficial, and the podcast handle is Enlightened_podcast. You can also find the video version on YouTube on my channel. Just search Enlightened, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a beautiful day and enjoy living the enlightened journey of life.